Okay.
Ready to jump into it?
I'm ready to jump into it.
All right, let's get it. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hola. Konnichiwa. Senpai. Welcome to... I don't know which episode this is. That's how many we're into now. Welcome to the
Probably
LOCO
the
Podcast.
fifth. I think this is probably the fifth.
All right, welcome back to maybe episode 5 of the LOCO Podcast, featuring Logan Moore and me, Connor Cook.
Wow.
I'm wearing... Check this out, bro. I know I've already shown it to you before, but check it out again. Check out the merch I'm wearing. If you go to our YouTube channel, look in the links below the videos, and you'll see the place to buy the merch. I get money from it, so go buy them. Thank you.
So, Connor, how's your week been?
Well, as you know, remember I broke my string on my bass.
Yes.
Well, I just strung that up yesterday. Sounds very fresh and clean. So
Did you restring all of the strings or just the one that broke?
just one, so it
You
sounds
should
kind of
restring the
whack.
rest.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort though, and I was kind of scared to do it. Maybe you can help me out. I don't know.
Maybe.
But so I did that. I got my Nintendo Switch back to work again, so now I've been playing Animal Crossing some more. Because
I
the
see.
fan overheated or whatever, and it kept breaking or whatever. But now I get to play more Animal Crossing, so that's cool. I don't mean to
So-
sound like a soy boy, but that's
That's all
it's
right.
fun.
There's one thing I wanted to say before we got too far into this, and that's just our condolences to the family of Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh yes,
She died on the 18th, and that is, of course, any death is a sad death. So our condolences and our
She was an American hero.
Yes, our respect to her work for our country.
yes.
Besides that, I've been checking in with the Joe Rogan stuff every week just because there's been so much stuff going on with him.
Are we gonna talk about
and-
Joe Rogan every week?
I think that it's kind of its own segment at this point.
Yeah.
But I'll keep it short. I just wanted to say that things are not looking super hot right now at Spotify because there are claims that many of the employees are upset with Joe Rogan and they want him to be edited live and they want censorship of all of his, specifically his stance on trans rights and trans activists in general. He's made some comments on that in the past that he's since changed his stance on a lot of it, but what he said at the time was not exactly awesome.
Not awesome.
And also just recently this week, it wasn't just in the past, this week he made a comment on Caitlyn Jenner. And it was meant to be in a joking manner, but of course a topic like that is difficult to fit into a joking manner. So he's in a little bit of hot water over that. And on top of that, Spotify's upset with him, and his fans are also kind of revolting right now. It's hard for me to figure out who's on his side because the new setup made people upset, and then now people feel like he's bending over back for Spotify, which they don't really like either. So things aren't looking great. I don't know.
Well, then I guess it's time for us to take over that position.
It's possible that the glory days of the Joe Rogan Experience are in their waning. That they're waning, but I don't know. He could always. He's got so much money. He could just be like, screw this deal, I'm out. Depending on his contract. But I don't know.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
How have you been this week so
Well,
far? It's only Wednesday.
Yeah, let me think about it for a second. I've been pretty good. I mean, yeah, I don't have too much to update on. I've just been doing what I need to do for college. It's getting to be about that time of year
stressful.
where we got to figure stuff out.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I was still just narrowing down college choices. That was not very fun. I just had a spreadsheet open with like 20 different colleges, and I had to try to pick all this information. But, yeah, boring, very boring. But I
You
think
had a
that
boring weekend?
a little bit. But I think that State of the Drip time. I think it's time for State of the Drip.
All right, say the drip.
We now welcome you to the State of the Drip. So, first State of the Drip is that Dripping Springs ISD wants to provide support for the students who missed or could not easily tune into online learning. those being students that might have had network issues or students that were just not as set up for remote learning. Up to 90 of these kids were chosen to have what is being called a multi-tier system of supports within the first 6 weeks of the fall 2020 semester. So that's nice. That's cool of them. That's really good.
Very nice. Is that it?
Yeah. Since staff began, there's a little bit more. Since staff began offering additional support to those 90 students, 45% had improved reading test scores. 40% had seen improved math scores. Although some experienced what is being called a COVID-19 slide, where 15% showed lower reading skills and 20% showed lower math skills. But
wow,
it's to be expected if kids aren't going to school regularly. I mean, you see that just over the summer.
Lack of motivation, probably.
I mean, and I imagine that it's a little difficult to call that a COVID-19 slide since these kids went from having extra spring break to all of summer to, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, I got you.
No wonder you're going to be a little bit behind in your studies. I mean, I bet most people have forgotten a lot.
Yeah, that was like the longest summer ever. I'm not complaining though.
It's great.
Yeah. All right. Next news. We don't have a lot today, but on Friday, September 25th, it will be the senior sunrise, where basically it's going to be a drive-in this week/year because of COVID. So just roll up into the D lot in your vehicle. There'll be food provided, and that's at 7:00. Be there by 7. Watch the sunrise with your homies, and enjoy some good breakfast.
Yes.
Are you going to be there, Logan?
No, I will not.
Yeah.
That's not because I hate. That's not because I hate my fellow classmen. It's not because I am ungrateful for the fact that they're putting this on. It's because I'm not a big group kind of guy, even in general. And with COVID going on, it's just not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
I apologize. I sincerely apologize. Now, something very exciting is about to happen. It is so exciting that I can't even contain my excitement. You might be able to see on my face that I am just bursting with excitement.
I can see it. Yeah, I see it.
Connor, what are you doing for Conspiracy Corner today?
Oh, I'm very proud. Oh, that's what you were excited about? I'm doing something, it's a little... I'm trying to be indie with my conspiracy cores, Like, I'm like a quirky white girl of conspiracies.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of like if Alex Jones was out getting
coffee. Yeah, that kind of thing. I'm like Alex Jones, the indie girl. Wait, I don't want to be Alex Jones. I take it back. I'm not that crazy. But you get the point. So I'm very proud of this. I call this the case.
Okay.
Very cool.
I have no clue what that means. I have no context in it.
Well, it's
isn't
spelled
that cool, but you need to
Cayce case. Because it's about this guy named Edgar Cayce.
Okay.
You ever heard of him?
Yeah, explain it. I have never heard of him, so you're going to tell me a bit about that.
The Sleeping Prophet. Now, I first heard about Edgar Cayce in my favorite book, Chariots of the Gods. Good read. Go read it. But, I looked into it more, and it's really fascinating stuff, actually. You got your normal clairvoyance, all that stuff, but this guy, he really took it to another level. So basically, it's about him being a clairvoyant, and then some of his theories, so we're going to start with Edgar Cayce and move on to his wacky theories, or just one specifically that really interests me, okay? So Edgar Cayce was born in 1877 in Kentucky, okay? So this is a while ago. He's an American clairvoyant who could channel a source, he said, to answer questions that varied from healing, reincarnation, dreams, and the afterlife, and the past life.
So this guy was just going around telling people, hey, I can talk to ghosts and making money off of it, basically, in the 1800s, is what you're telling me?
No, but it's why he's asleep.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you finish. I'm just trying to, summarize what you've said so far. That's correct. He went around, he made money by trying to offer some form of insight from, the other side, as you might call it.
Source, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're correct. So he had a lot of theories. The most fascinating one is about Atlantis, which we'll get to. But this was all, he was in a sleep state, so it's kind of hard to fake that unless he was just faking sleeping in general, which is possible. He has his skeptics. Case proposed that his subconscious mind would explore the dream realm where all subconscious minds are timelessly connected. Now, I know you're kind of a hippy dippy kind of dude. How does that make you feel, Logan?
Sorry, I missed what you were saying. I was calling my mom because my dogs were being extremely loud, so I was trying to get them away
I
from me.
said Case proposed that his subconscious mind would explore the dream realm where all subconscious minds are timelessly connected.
Yeah, so that's an interesting idea, but hear me out because I've thought a lot about this. It's true to say that I have a hippy dippy mind. I've ventured into such realms before, but I think if you take a critical thought process, I think that the ego thinking that it is somehow connected to everything else is kind of a fallacy. I think that what we're really experiencing when we feel like we are in that, anyone who has felt that, it's almost sort of a Zen feeling. I really think that what you're feeling is just how we all at our base level kind of are the same thing. I'll just restart this so that,
No, you're good. Keep going.
because I don't think I explained it very well. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I think that when that subconscious realm where he thinks that he's interacting with everybody is probably just his subconscious realizing that everybody's pretty much biologically similar. There's not a lot of differences in us other than the things that happen to us in our lifetime, biologically, evolutionarily. There's superficial differences between us, but ultimately we're all to a genetic level extremely similar. Anyways.
No, very well spoken. In a way, that's what we need to know nowadays, that we're all very similar. So, very relevant. Thank you. So, continuing, he said that he could see auras. Auras, right?
Auras, yeah.
Auras around people. I want to note that he was like a hardcore Christian, so he might have been a little cuckoo in the head. I don't know.
All right, well, we're not saying that about Christians. We're just, no.
Yeah, we're not. Okay. So he was a hardcore Christian. So he said he could speak to angels and heard voices of the departed relatives. And, this kind of messed with him when he was a kid. So this has been going on his entire life.
Okay, so he claims that this was like a curse at first. Like he didn't know how to control it, and it was just torture almost.
Well, he thinks it's a gift from God.
Okay.
So...
But he's been able to do it without trying since a kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a little weird that a kid would claim that and then continue to ride that boat or whatever you want to ride.
Well, I agree that I think it's a little weird that it would be consistent like that, but you've got to remember this is also in the 1800s when they didn't have phones and their attention span was a lot longer. So
and there was cocaine and Coca-Cola, so who knows what was going on.
That early?
Yeah, I mean, it was the late 1800s. It was around the time of Coca-Cola. Who knows what was going on in this dude's mind?
Yeah, who knows?
Hear this out. This is insane. He had a total of 14,306 readings. Like, all of his... That's a lot.
Okay, yeah, that is quite a lot.
Because he's got this foundation nowadays called, like, the Edgar Cayce Foundation, original name, where they keep track of all the things that he's claimed, all of his readings. So... This is where I found this next part, which is very interesting, about Atlantis. He said he had a connection to the lost people of Atlantis. Like,
that's very interesting to me. I have a lot of. I think we've talked already about Atlantis on here, haven't we?
I don't think so, which is why I would like to focus on it more. But I want to connect this. I want to connect Edgar Cayce to Atlantis. So I kind of like the segue here. Yeah. So according to Cayce, Atlantis was located from the Gulf of Mexico to... I don't even know how to pronounce this, but it says Gibraltar. You ever heard of that?
No.
Gibraltar? I think that's probably how you say it. And was destroyed in a final catastrophic event in 10,000 BC, which is... I'm not good with time, so
10,000 BC, then 10,000 BC. Remember we were talking about the Sphinx and how parts of it were constructed much earlier?
Yeah.
10,000 BC is when we think that the Sphinx was first... may have been first erected, and that's about 6,000, 7,000 years before the Egyptians as we know them.
Wow. So
Like
it's pretty early
the
on.
Great Pyramid Egyptians, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's a very, very long time ago. I mean, previously 10 years ago, if you asked a historian that, they'd say that's ridiculous. There are no advanced civilizations that advanced 10,000 years ago, but that has changed a little bit among the scientific community recently.
Well, like I've previously said, I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm just saying that this is what Edgar Cayce is saying. So
Yeah,
let's get
and
back into it.
I think that it's such an interesting thought, and I find that 10,000 number interesting. So seeing as he came from the 1800s, it's very odd to me that anyone would place any. Well, also, isn't he a Christian?
Yeah.
They don't believe that the Earth's that old.
Really?
Pretty sure that they think it's either 6,000 or 600 years old.
Huh. Then maybe he really was onto something if he would, leave his own faith to talk about Atlantis. Well, he wasn't leaving his faith, but he was like getting away from the norms of that religion.
Okay, so I might have
Atlantis.
misspoken. That might not be a common. That might not. So it's called young Earth creationism. That might not be a super common form of creationism, but the belief from them is that the world as we know it was created between 6,000 and 10,000 years ago.
Wow.
Regardless, though, that's not at 10,000 BC, since you'd need to go back 12,000 years to get to that.
Yeah. Okay, so as I was saying, according to Cayce, Atlantis was a highly advanced civilization from the Gulf of Mexico to Gibraltar, like I said. So basically, he thinks that Atlantis was destroyed, and they were aware that it was going to happen because of how advanced they were. I don't know the specifics. I couldn't find that. Although his Wikipedia page is dummy thick, so go look into that.
All right.
There's like a bunch of information about that, but about all of his other readings. But so basically, he said that Atlantis was extremely advanced. Now, why were they advanced in the first place? Aliens. I'm not gonna make that my answer for everything, but it kind of is.
Well, it's completely. I mean, everybody wants to jump to aliens, but it's possible that they were just a advanced civilization like we were that just came about. I mean, granted, it's unlikely because you'd expect much more archaeological evidence of a gradual rise in evolution or in advancement. But it's a little egotistical of us to think that we couldn't have happened before. If an event was catastrophic enough to wipe it out, could have covered up the evidence.
Yeah, very true.
And it's not. It could be that we're just not that unique. We could be the 6th time that this planet has had an advanced civilization on it.
I mean, very true. But basically, Cayce believes that so Atlantis was destroyed because they were very too advanced. I don't know how that would happen, but that's what he claims. And basically, he said that they knew they were going to get destroyed. So what they did was they dispersed information about Atlantis across Egypt and other places in the old world. So so basically, he thinks that someday we're going to find proof of Atlantis through texts and stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe Cayce was right, and we'll find Atlantis someday.
We have found some textual evidence of places that seem to resemble what Atlantis could have been, although I don't believe that they're ever named Atlantis, which makes sense. You'd expect that name to probably change through stories. It probably wasn't called Atlantis itself. And I swear we've talked about this before. I think we've mentioned it before, but my belief on it is that if it was anywhere, it was probably in the West Central Sahara Desert area.
That's actually what Cayce believes, kinda.
No. I thought you said Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Mexico to
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about Africa, Sahara Desert.
Yeah, my bad.
And yeah, there's so much area there unexplored in terms of the archaeological dig because it's so dangerous, hot, and deadly to go dig there. I mean, seriously, spend 20 minutes out there in that desert. at the wrong time in the day, and you're gonna die. There's no chance. So you can't have dig teams out there. So hopefully, with robots becoming a little bit more advanced, maybe soon we'll be able to get out there and explore and find a bunch of stuff that we haven't. Because if you think about it, that part of the area was where all of the advancement happened originally.
Yeah.
But not specifically that part, but nearby on the same continent.
Mm-hmm.
And climate records show that it was much more temperate there, and that the water level had risen to the point that it wasn't a desert. It would have been like on water level, like Atlantis. So there's a chance that there's a ton of over there that we don't know about. Well, I'm gonna have to edit that out. But
There's a ton of what?
there's a ton of stuff.
Stuff.
Ton of stuff over there. That
We could just bleep it. That'd be funny.
Yeah, I will.
But my stance on Atlantis, let me just tell you mine real quick, is that I think that it was real, but I don't think it was like underwater. I think the whole underwater thing comes from it just being sunken somehow. And that's about it. It might be in the Sahara, like you said. It might be, Case could be right. I don't know. I don't know its location. Probably Gulf of Mexico. That would make sense, I guess. But although the Sahara also makes sense because you can't really find anything because of how hot it is. So
I don't know.
Possibilities.
I don't know about the Gulf of Mexico. That's kind of early for such an advanced civilization in the Gulf, if what we believe is true about that culture originating out of Africa.
Well, that's near like the Aztecs and stuff like that, and they had pyramids similar to that of Egypt.
But I don't think that they had pyramids dating back to 10,000. Let me check.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Aztecs, I mean, the Aztecs, it says that they flourished from 1300 to 1521. So that's like not even before Christ.
Huh. My bad. I mean, you never know what was there, though. You really don't. So anything's possible.
So in terms of the oldest civilizations, though, I mean, we know of Aboriginal tribes from up to 75,000 years ago. So that's very interesting.
Very interesting. So, yeah, that's Case's theory of Atlantis.
Whoa. Case. Okay, this is crazy. I just blew my own mind. Apparently, we found out that even though we thought Mesopotamia was credited as the first civilization, the Aboriginal Australians are actually now in the lead for the oldest civilization.
The Australians?
Yeah, the Australians took it. I don't know how.
Crikey.
Crazy. Music, musings.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Before I move to music musings, I just wanted to read a relevant piece of news to Conspiracy Corner that is very interesting. Probably my favorite piece of news from my lifetime.
Go ahead.
So this is from CNN. I mean, you can find it in other places too, but this is where I found it. So it says that a gas found on Earth that signifies life has been detected in the clouds of Venus. Do you know what gas that is? Phosphine.
They found phosphine?
Yeah, in the clouds.
And why is that? Why specifically is that?
Because on Earth, microorganisms make phosphine and send it into the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. So basically, they're saying that it's possible that the same thing is happening on Venus.
That's very interesting. I have to look into that.
So yeah, look into that. Very cool news. Possibly aliens on Venus, or
possibly microbiome aliens.
Well, there's this thing called hydrophiles, where you live in like extreme water temperatures. Yeah. And there's that for like heat and all that. So it could be some kind of extreme nature. Yeah, extremophiles. Sure, we could label it that.
Well, no, absolutely. I think that once again, it's like if they're aliens, they're not going to be bound by Earth's evolution process. They're going to probably go through an evolutionary process. Most evolutionary biologists agree that aliens would still require Darwinian evolution, although that's debated. But it's not going to be the same as it was here. So there's no reason to think that they couldn't adapt to deal with extreme environments, you know?
Exactly.
If that's the environment that they came about in, then it's not even going to require too much evolution.
Yeah.
We would seem extreme to them.
Yeah.
I mean, take the fish that live at the bottom of the deepest oceans. This is a really cool fact, by the way. Because they have so much pressure exerted on them constantly from the ocean, they have a really high internal body pressure that pushes out to keep them like alive, you know? And if they go too high up, They just explode.
Whoa.
Seriously. So even on Earth, there's like beings that live in extreme environments that would think of us as extreme. Like, holy shit, you guys live there? I explode there.
So this weekend, I watched on Apple TV the Beastie Boys story. Have you seen that?
No.
I'm assuming you know who the Beastie Boys are, though.
No.
You don't know who the... Is that ironic? Are you joking?
Yeah, obviously I'm joking.
Okay. Sorry, I can tell. I can't tell with you, man. You're really good at that. Okay, so I watched the Beastie Boys story. It was really interesting. So this week I'm gonna dedicate my album to them. I'm gonna do Beastie Boys, Check Your Head. You know, you got So What You Want on there, a classic. So I dedicate this episode to RBG and Adam Yauch, aka MCA from the Beastie Boys. May he rest in peace. Go check out the Beastie Boys, Check Your Head, and watch the documentary.
Well, I have to one up you now because you just questioned my Beastie Boys knowledge. So my Beastie Boys album that I am going to recommend is the sounds from the In Sounds from the Way Out, which is a jazz fusion album recorded by the Beastie Boys. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a jazz funk fusion album.
Okay, it's sunk in. Now I just like him even more.
Boys. So
I've not even heard of that. Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%. Look it up as soon as we're done with this call.
I will.
Cool. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been your LOCO Podcast on this Wednesday, September 23rd. We hope that you all have a wonderful, joyous rest of your week. Thursday and Friday are only bound to get better, and your weekend is a golden shell of opportunity that you need to crack open.
Okay, hippie.
So, we love you all. Connor, do you have anything to say before we jump off?
I love you guys too. Buy the merch. I need money. I don't have a job.
All right. Well, Connor, thank you for being my co-host.
You're welcome. Thank you for being mine.
All right. Goodbye, everybody, and have a fantastic week.
Adios. Sayonara. Bye.